If there is one thing that is for certain right now, is that no one in business is really happy. It's no one, that's employers or employees. Everyone is just frustrated across the board. And it has a lot to do with what is considered the social contract, which is, hey, if I do certain things, or these are the expectations that I can have just going through my life, so I can make decisions on what I want to do. And they're broken across the board. Some prime examples are here that, let's say, for the college graduates, right? Or, the young folks coming into the workforce, go get a degree, then you can get a job, and then you can afford to live. Well, that isn't really the case right now in most areas. There's a lot more month than paycheck for our new college graduates, and even folks who have been working for a while. The other side of that is the expectation for what work is. 40-hour work week. You get pay, you get benefits. You're left alone on the weekends. You come in, do your thing, and leave. Right? All of these things are no longer really accepted, and that's forcing employees, but also employers, to have to take a look at their overall social contract that they have with their employees as well. And this is what's known as a paradigm shift. That's what we're in right now, folks. And what happens anytime there's a paradigm shift is that, one, all the rules go out, and two, we don't know what's going to come out the other side of that. And that's, I think, the biggest concern that we all have right now with everything that's going on in our, basically in our work life right now, let alone in our personal and everything else. So, for those who don't know, my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach that works out of West Michigan, around the country. I come here live on YouTube pretty consistently every single day, sharing information I share with my clients, and I hope to earn your subscription. So we're going to take a look at an article today. It's from Inc.com, but we're going to kind of bounce around a little bit in this article because there's some other stuff I want to talk about again. So I mentioned paradigm shift. If you don't know what paradigm shift means, and if you heard paradigm and you've never had it defined, let's go take a look at it. Again, it's a typical example or pattern of something. It's a model, right? So when we talk about the paradigm shift, when it comes to, say, the 40-hour work week or working at the office, that's changed, right? So that's a paradigm shift. What was expected, you're going to commute, you're going to, do lunch wherever, it's going to be this thing. Now it's shifting, it's breaking. So rules are going out. Same thing. We talk about remote work, we talk everything. The shifts are happening. So when I use the word paradigm shift, that's what I mean. And there's another shift that's occurring that I'm seeing out there. I don't hear it with my clients as much, but I'm catching it on, different events that I go to talking with business owners. And it has to be about the way that employers are looking at, talking about, and thinking about their workers. And it's from this, I'm not going to go into this article here, but this is from the Wall Street Journal. Look at this headline. And this is what we're seeing. Everybody's replaceable. The new ways bosses talk about their workers, right? We don't even go into this. Look, it tells you we can just swap people out. And we've talked about that at length on this program, that right now there is a look at work and what work actually means and what people produce. And you can look at AI, but let's just take that off the table for just a little bit here. It's going to be part of the conversation, but the large language models. But it's also the fact that, there's companies laying people off left and right. The talent pool is as deep, and the bench has huge depth right now for bosses, for owners to be able to go out and just say, hey, I need to find X. And they can find 4 or 5 versions of those folks that are replaceable, ready to go and start working, be it local or remote. So there's options that are out there right now. And when I talk about the difference between labor and capital, which is labor is going to be employees, capital is going to be business, this paradigm has completely just been blown up over the last 15, 16 years, which is where labor employees have had all the leverage they've had. Over the last 3 years, that leverage is gone. They've overplayed hands. It is just not good. And now where business owners have, frankly, they have all the leverage and they're fed up. Really, they are. They are on the other side of this, to where they're saying, honestly, folks, I know you don't want to do this work. I understand. I just don't care. Like, that's really what the mentality that you're getting from a lot of these business owners. They want to work with people, but they're not feeling it. Meeting the bosses halfway type of thing. And that is a fundamental shift that I don't think the vast majority of workers are prepared for. And I think you're running into it now to where we're seeing people being upset and frustrated that they don't have the ability to, you know, force change on their bosses for what they want, to lack of a better phrase, right? And that's what we're going to be getting into here about this mentality piece within this Inc.com article. Okay. And again, link's going to be in the description. So be sure to go check this out. Again, I always ask, go visit the article after we review it, just to help get their click count up, right? Because these folks do put a lot of good work into this here. So this is from Suzanne Lucas, an HR consultant, and also known as the evil HR lady. So go give this person a follow. Hey, I love the thing here. Anyways, so let's get into here. So individual gave a speech about Gen Z in the workplace. A human resources director in the audience asked if we could chat briefly, explained that their Gen Z employees would not stop asking for, even demanding, a 4-day work week. She was at her wit's end trying to explain to them that wouldn't work for the business. And tell them the discussion's over, that the business operates 5 days a week, end of story. What I didn't know when I said it is that this level of harshness is on par with what the CEOs of the big companies are saying. And this is what I'm hearing from many CEOs, if not, I mean, we're into the 90th percentile, folks. Work-life balance is your problem. Again, the founder of Shapewear Skims. Now, again, this is a larger company, so just be clear here, but I'm seeing this all the way down to companies with 4, 6, 8 people, okay? After recently cutting more than 1,000 jobs, Brian Nichols said remaining corporate staff need to step it up and own whether or not this place grows. Jamie Dimon, known for Jamie's, way Jamie talks, in a profanity lace, and okay, I wouldn't say profanity lace. It sounded like an internal meeting. Told employees lamenting a return to work mandate that he didn't care. This is where the job is, folks. Either you like it or you don't. Come over here. Now, why have CEOs and I become hardliners regarding what employees should do and what kind of perks and privileges business will they offer? Partly is because the uncertainty in the economy. That's huge, folks. There is the supply shock, but also just the balance sheets look like garbage right now. Cash flow statements are all over the place. And when you're making plans as a business, if you're having this going with your cash flow, if you don't understand cash flow, basically statement of cash flows, learn it. It's going to help you with your negotiations as an employee. Trust me on this. But anyways, when you're seeing this, you can't make plans. There's things you just can't do, okay? And I'm seeing it with a lot of my companies and a lot of the data we're getting. We're talking about tariffs, price controls, ICE raids, bring uncertainty in the marketplace. That's an interesting thing to throw in there. CEOs appear to feel it's not necessary to coddle employees. I hate that word, coddle. It's not right, but I understand what they're saying. And this is the sentence I wanted to bring to your attention, or I guess this would be the clause. And according to the Wall Street Journal, they no longer feel like employees are their best asset. Just let that sink in, folks. We'll come back to the article here in a second, but think about that. We have CEOs, business owners, again, that they're talking about that are openly saying that they no longer feel that employees are their best asset. Okay, that is a huge shift right now, and I don't know what to do with that information. Like saying, I'm going to be talking to my clients about that, because we're going to talk and share what I'm going to share with them in a minute. But TLDR, that's an opportunity for business owners, especially if that starts to be the norm. Now, as a trained political scientist, et cetera, work without government life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Basically, if the government has stepped in, and the rest of the article, I think it's better if I just summarize the stuff, because he gets in Hobbes and everything. I don't think we need to talk about Hobbes today, but go check out the article. It's pretty cool. They're basically just saying that as a society, Western civilization, just going to go with this here, came to the agreement that businesses, for planning purposes and to organize and make sure we can put the laws in place, that a 40-hour work week would be the standard. Now, all of our laws, regulations, etc., are built around this foundational piece, which is it's a 40-hour work week for full-time, right? Full-time equivalent. When we're trying to, if the employment base is now trying to change that and make that not be the thing, right? And they're trying to force. They say, let's say we want to. And by the way, 40-hour work week, you come to our place of business, to our office to work. That's the other caveat. If we're trying to shift that, that means there needs to be a shift in the overall laws and regulations, and also to make sure the government is there to support the social contract and the agreement, so now businesses can plan. Because right now, I don't know if, I guess the way I'd look at this here is that there's a struggle going on right now, and I think we all see it, between what people think the employees think needs to be done for the business to be successful, and what the businesses are built around as far as processes and regulations to deliver for their clients and customers, right? That needs to change. And the thing is that it can't happen all at once. And there's going to be some businesses are going to find success, others are not going to be able to do that. And right now, like with everything, the social contract needs to catch up, but also the government regulation needs to catch up too, to make sure that all the protections are in place. So here's what I'm telling my clients right now. And this is what, anytime you have a paradigm shift, this is the key. This goes for you if you're an employee looking to start your own business. If you are a business, an entrepreneur, if you are a smaller business and you have the opportunity to shift, here's your chance. Here is your chance. Every time there's a paradigm shift, it means that there is someone somewhere, some group of clients who are not getting the service or product that they need. So you have the opportunity to make that shift. There's employees, talent, who can't make it work with this particular type of setup. You can go find the right talent for you by making that adjustment, but you need to build your business in a way that takes advantage of and you can make money on. Let's say it's a 4-day work week. How can you find, you have to be able to find the right clients, manage those clients, and make sure it's profitable enough for you to be able to work in that 4-day work week, right? And then use that leverage that you have at that point for that 4-day work week, if this is the thing, to ensure you're getting the maximum amount of potential out of your folks and execution. Now, as employees, here's the deal. If someone's offering you a 4-day work week, that is outside of the social contract, which means you need to work and make sure you're doing everything you can to deliver above and beyond the expectations. And that needs to be a shift in the way that employees are thinking about this. Just because you want the 4-day work week, let's say someone acquiesces, now you've got it. You just don't take that for granted. And that is the biggest thing that I hear from business owners. Over the last 15 years, they have provided, and for rightfully so in a lot of ways, additional benefits. As far as work-life balance, making people work from home, all these different things that they've given and given and given to employees. And basically, in their minds, a lot of them that I'm hearing, they've just gotten the finger back. Or, if you're in Britain, it's 2, right? Flipped around, whatever it is. And they're done. That's the piece. They are now done because of this. So if we want as a society to move to a 4-day work week, great, let's do that. But it can't be at the expense of the businesses that then provide the services and products that we need, but also they provide for the livelihoods of all of those employees. And that's the thing, they've got to make payroll. So you have to be as productive, if not more so, with the less amount of work going in. And that's where we're at here, folks. So yeah, 100%. Yeah. Again, we get the comment there. Thank you very much for hopping in there. Appreciate that. Post-pandemic, most workers have higher expectations for the level of care employers provide them, both the work and their absolute. And again, that's a great comment. Thank you for that. And that is correct. They do have that. However, and this is not a but, and I think it's more of an and, businesses have the right to request, a higher quality of work from folks too, because there's been an exchange of value. And that's that piece we're getting into here, folks, where the social contract was, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to take some risk. I'm going to go out and do the thing, and I'm going to provide jobs for folks. Cool. Here's the thing. I'm meeting you halfway. Great. We're there. Hey, I still need you to do great work every time that I provide something new to you or a new compensation. The expectation is I should be getting more for my investment in you. And that's not happening. Right? That's not I say it's not happening. That's not the perceived value. So whose responsibility is that? That's where I talk with my clients about, listen, it's both sides have a responsibility here. When we work with business owners, I'm like, yo, you need to make sure your job descriptions are clear. And those job descriptions, people are getting hired on, very clearly outline what you're supposed to deliver. And if what they're delivering is not good enough for what you need done, you need to update your job description and look at your compensation. Make sure you get the right talent in there so we don't have a job mismatch. And that's really where I start with a lot of clients as well. Is like, hey, let's still do your job descriptions and make sure they're written in a way that folks who come in to work with you know what they're supposed to do. But it also allows you then to say, hey, what does this person need to be successful? What do they need? What are we going to do with them to make sure they're successful? And can they do the work from home? Can they do, or do we need them in the office? Do we need them X, Y, and Z? Whatever it happens to be. And that's on the purview of the business owner to organize their business and their jobs in a way that's going to be able to provide that. So again, folks, big thing on this here. I appreciate everybody who's hopped on to watch me live here today. It's always good when we get some folks in the chat. Again, this is a paradigm shift. So if you don't like, and this is what it comes down to, and this is what I've heard from most folks here, business owners, they've started saying this to employees. So don't be surprised if you don't start hearing this. And this is an opportunity / call to action for all of you out there. If the employees don't like what we're offering as far as business here, they think that we do 5 days a week here. They say it should be 4 days a week. The business owners I've heard say this, and I've heard them say this, well, they can start their own company if they think they can do it better. Like, that's what's being said right now. And that's a fundamental shift. So with that, that's an opportunity. If you think that you can do it better with a 4-day work week, this is your opportunity, folks. I cannot overstate how important that is for you to understand. This is your opportunity. You can start your own company and say, hey, we provide amazing customer service, products, whatever it happens to be, but we only work 4 days a week. We're going to meet customer demand and make it awesome. And if you can do that, you are going to have a near unlimited pool of potential employees. And frankly, again, I think your customer base will grow rapidly. But again, this is for you. This is something that you as an individual, again, I'm talking employees as a whole. If you don't like what's going on, go do it better and go put your previous employer out of business. Like that's what we're hearing from folks. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're at today, folks. Again, this is a paradigm shift. With paradigm shifts come opportunity. It's up to those entrepreneurs or those folks with the entrepreneurial spirit to take advantage of that. Otherwise, I can promise you this much: the paradigm will not shift, and everyone's going to return to work. 5-day work weeks are going to continue to be the thing. And I don't know if we're ready for that shift yet or not completely here in the States, and as I'm talking here, but we might be there. Just depends on what you guys want to do. So again, for those that are interested in learning about how I help businesses grow faster than ever thought possible, and I help grow companies that have value and that sell, please check out summitbusinessguides.com. Links in the description. Again, I appreciate everybody who hung out this long. Take care. And hopefully I earned your subscription. That's the last one. Hopefully I earned your subscription today. Take care, and I will see you next time.